Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Tom. Today's episode name is 7 Extinct Predators You May Not Know. Today I will take you on an epic adventure in time. We will meet creatures in the safety of the screen, for which we would be just a small snack. I wanted to dedicate today's episode especially to the lesser-known ones, but I dare say that it is still impressive. Some were even top predators at the time. Burosaurus is an extinct genus of giant crocodile that lived in rivers and lakes in South America 20 to 5 million years ago during the Miocene. It reached a length of up to 12.5 meters and weighed between 5 and 9.5 tons. The length of the skull of the largest known individual of the species Brasiliensis is 1.5 meters with a jaw full of 5-centimeter teeth. Burosaurus was one of the largest crocodiles in the history of the Earth, in addition to which we also know other gigantic genera Sarcosuchus and Dinosuchus from the Mesozoic period. The Burosaurus skull was very similar to today's alligators. It was wide, long and powerful. The force of the jaw grip of this giant creature was estimated at up to 7 tons, which is one of the highest values among all known animals. Its size and strength have made it a top predator in its ecosystem. Burosaurus hunted large vertebrates such as xenarthrans and natamulate. He used his teeth to bite and hold prey. The teeth were slightly flattened and conical at the top, which means that they would not break on impact with a strong bone. The front was taller and more pointed, while the back was lower and more rounded. The common food of the Burosaur was probably large aquatic and terrestrial vertebrates, fish, turtles, river dolphins, ungulates, capybaras weighing up to 700 kilograms and the primate Stertonia. Analysis of a biomechanical model of Burosaur's skull showed that he was able to perform the deadly throw maneuver used by existing crocodiles to subdue and tear prey. All the sense organs like eyes, ears and nostrils were at the very top of the head, suggesting that Burosaurus was a predator attacking from ambush like many modern caimans. Livyutin melville is an extinct genus of whale. The family name was inspired by the biblical sea monster Leviathan. It inhabited the world's oceans in the late Miocene about 9 to 10 million years ago, and it is possible that here a very similar creature lived in the Pliocene about 5 million years ago. All fossil finds come from South America, Australia and South Africa. He was a member of a group of hyper-predatory whales and was a top predator. The total length was similar to the modern whale, 14 to 18 meters, which makes it one of the largest predators that ever existed. It is estimated that it weighed 57 tons with a skull about 3 meters long. What sets it apart from other whales is the skull shaped like sink. It is believed that the organ contained in this pelvis was used in echolocation, to locate prey and communication between individuals. The organ could also be used to stun with an intense sound, which would cause the bodily functions of the prey to be switched off, something like a momentary stun. Livyutin lived in a time with a large extinct shark megalodon, Otodus megalodon, and competed with him for a similar food source. Livyutin had 40 functional teeth covered with enamel, adapted for hunting large prey. Livyutin's teeth measured over 36 centimeters and are the largest teeth of any known predator in the history of the planet. The wear on the teeth indicates that the teeth cut through each other when biting, which means that he could bite large pieces of meat from the prey. The teeth were also deeply embedded in the gums and could bond together, which was an adaptation to hold the fighting prey. His diet probably consisted mainly of medium whales 7 to 10 meters long He also hunted sharks, seals, dolphins and other large sea vertebrates, and took the place of a similar modern killer whale, but Leviathan could hunt alone. Its extinction was probably caused by cooling at the end of the Miocene, which resulted in a decline in food populations. Their extinction also coincides with the emergence of killer whales and large predatory globocephaline dolphins, which have accelerated this process. Androsarchus mongoliensis is an extinct genus of mammals which, thanks to its 5 to 6 meters in length, 2 meters in shoulder blades and its weight over 600 kilograms, is considered to be the largest predatory terrestrial mammal. He lived about 40 million years ago, the Upper Eocene period, in the area of present-day Mongolia. Everything we know about this giant predator today comes from a single skull, over 1 meter long, and several bone fragments. The skull is now on display at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Androsarchus is considered the largest terrestrial carnivore of mammals, based on the length of the skull they used to estimate its size. He was probably able to develop the strongest jaw grip among mammals and could therefore make a living both by hunting large animals and as a scavenger with large, heavily ground teeth. Androsarchus has a complete dental formula with 3 incisors, 1 canine, 4 premolars and 3 stools on each side of the jaws, which is similar to intelligent. These were omnivorous pigs that could measure the size of a skull with Androsarchus. They are also called hell pigs. Although Androsarchus looked like a wolf or a bear, he is classified as a carnivorous ungulate, as evidenced by the fact that instead of claws, he had simple hooves on his short, robust legs. Inostrancevia was the genus of a large predator belonging to the Gorgonopsia group. Inostrancevia lived in Russia. Their bodies were slender and had relatively short legs. Inostrancevia lived in the area like a scutosaur, which she probably hunted. It lived in the Upper Permian from 260 to 254 million years ago. It is known from several skulls and 2 almost complete skeletons. Inostrancevia species were the largest known gorgonopsids. It measured up to 3.5 meters, which is more than the length of any terrestrial predator today. She weighed an average of 300, but up to 500 kilograms. Her skull was 60 centimeters in size, and, like several other gorgonopsids, Inostrancevia had strongly developed canines that were up to 15 centimeters long. He used these large teeth to kill prey. She probably walked the prey down her throat and, with a single bite, cut through the carotid arteries and trachea. An animal with such an injury is sentenced to death. In addition, this gorgonopsid was able to open the mouth to a right angle. Impressive, isn't it? Dimetrodon is a genus of extinct carnivorous prehistoric reptile. He lived in the Permian period, the Younger Proterozoic, about 280 to 265 million years ago. The most important feature of Dimetrodons is the large sail of the nerve spine on the back, formed by elongated thorns protruding from the vertebrae. He walked on 4 legs and had a tall, curved skull with large teeth of various sizes set along his jaws. Most fossils have been found in the southwestern United States, most of them from a geological deposit called the Red Beds in Texas and Oklahoma, where they were part of lowland ecosystems that were vast wetlands during the Permian. However, fossils have recently been found in Germany as well. Since the discovery of the first Dimetrodon in 1878, more than a dozen other species have been named and found. Dimetrodon became extinct about 40 million years before the first appearance of dinosaurs and is more related to mammals than modern reptiles. Dimetrodon was probably one of the top predators of ecosystems, feeding on fish and tetrapods, including reptiles and amphibians. Dimetrodon's sail could be used to stabilize the spine, or was used to courts with methods such as threatening opponents or showing off to potential partners. Most Dimetrodon species were between 2 and 4.6 meters in length, and small species are estimated to weigh about 28 kilograms and large 250 kilograms. The largest known species was Dimetrodon angelensis, which was 2 meters high and almost 5 meters long, and was one of the largest predators of the early Permian. Dimetrodon's teeth were teardrop-shaped and sharp at the edges, serrated at the edges like a shark's. This helped them to cut through the meat of the prey without any problems. His skull was stronger than dinosaurs. He is believed to have lived a terrestrial lifestyle, which means that he would feed mainly on land, on the banks, or in very shallow water. It fed on various organisms, such as the shark Xenacanthus, the aquatic amphibians Trimerarchus and Diplocolus, and the terrestrial tetrapods Samauria and Trematops. Arthropleura was a genus of large arthropods, up to 2 meters long, or centipedes, living in the Carboniferous in Northeast America and Scotland about 345 to 295 million years ago. These are the largest known arthropods that have ever lived on Earth. Their existence is evidenced by the preservation of fossil footprints in the rock in present-day Scotland. The preserved fossil finds are simple, so the exact appearance of the animal is unknown. She lived in the then vast rainforests. Because none of the known fossils have their mouths preserved, it is impossible to determine exactly what they ate, so they could be carnivorous like most of today's centipedes. Species of this genus are the largest known terrestrial invertebrates of all time and have had few, if any, predators. Arthropleura had a length of only about 0.3 meters to a length of 2.5 meters that Arthropleura armata had. The flattened body of Arthropleura consisted of approximately 30 connected segments, each covered by 2 side plates and 1 center plate. Obviously, she moved quickly through the forest floor and maneuvered perfectly to avoid obstacles such as trees and rocks. The Arthropleura became extinct shortly after the end of the Carboniferous, when the humid climate began to dry out and the Carboniferous rainforests disappeared. Dunkleosteus was a genus of about 10 species of armadillos living in the Paleozoic Devonian about 358 to 382 million years ago. Numerous fossils of various species have been found in North America, Poland, Belgium, and Morocco. The armored front parts were petrified, and therefore the appearance of other parts of the fish is unknown. Some species reached a length of about 10 meters and weighed about 3 to 4.5 tons. The Dunkleists were the top predators of the Devonian seas. They had no teeth, but their jaws were provided with sharp bony protrusions that had a beak structure. During the bite, they were able to develop a force of about 800 kilograms. Their head and chest were covered with massive carapaces connected by a movable joint. The largest and most famous species is Dunkleosteus torelli, which reached 10 meters and weighed 4.5 tons, making it one of the largest in the armored class. Like the other armored, Dunkleosteus had a 2-piece bony armored exterior that could make him a relatively slow but powerful swimmer. Dunkleosteus, along with most other armadillos, may also have been among the first vertebrates to fertilize eggs, as seen in some modern sharks. Dunkleosteus torelli had a connecting mechanism for opening the jaw, which included a connection between the skull, the thoracic shield, the lower jaw and the jaw muscles connected by movable joints. This mechanism allowed him to achieve a high jaw opening speed, open the jaws in 20 milliseconds, and complete the entire process in 50 to 60 milliseconds, comparable to modern fish that use suction to help capture prey and generate large bite forces when closing the jaw. The pressure generated in these areas was high enough to pierce or cut through the cuticular dermal tingling, suggesting that Dunkleosteus torelli was adapted to floating prey and to armored prey such as ammonites and other armored kind. Adults probably inhabited deep sea localities and lived in shallow waters during adolescence. Thanks for watching this video, and if you like it, please remember to give it thumbs up. Leave comment below, I'd love to read from you, and if you're not subscribed, click subscribe and also click the little bell icon so you'll immediately get notified of the next video that I publish. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next video.